Hi, my name is Pastor LaTarsha Holden. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the mother of 6 children and 4 grandchildren. At this time in my life, God has called me as an advocate for those who have no voice, a speaker, a pastor. I believe these are some of the ways that He uses me to give hope and encourage His people in these last days. And so I'm just looking forward to sharing what God has done for me and knowing that He'll do the same for you. I remember coming to National House. My kids was tired. It was angry. We've been driving around all the day. Mom, where are we going to sleep tonight? I'm like, I don't know. And I remember crying, God, where are you? Why is this happening to me? What have I done? I don't know. I didn't have no answers. I heard a still small voice that said, go to the Ranch Christian bookstore and you will meet somebody that will give you help. That's all I heard. Now I have 5 kids and I'm going to go to career. I made the voice and I went to the Ranch. I went in, looked around, and I saw a lady reading a book. And God said, go speak to her and tell her you don't have nowhere to go. I was kind of scared then. This lady's not going to believe me. When I went and talked with her and told her exactly what God told me to say, she said, well, just sit right here. Let me go talk with my husband. She came back. She said, well, you got a car? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, come on, y'all follow us back to the house. When I tell you those are angels for that night, oh, that lady cooked those some food. We had a home for one night. They were Christians, husbands, loving providers. But for one night, they gave us a home. Me and her went to the store and she went and got food and they cooked. You would have thought I knew those people. And I remember the next morning when we got up, she cooked breakfast. And I thanked her for that one night that we had rest. And I remember her giving me some money on my way to go on leave. And she telling me not to give her God the glory. And I'd be lying if I said that made me feel better because I still didn't have nowhere to go. But I held on to that hope. God was with me. Wow. And then we left there. And I went with the money she gave me. And I got me and my kids a hotel. Well, see that place. Thoughts. I remember asking my family members, 2 of them, can we just keep on I was like the next one. The laughing stock and going to school. I guess everybody was waiting for that to fail, but I just kept pushing. But you just instrumental in your class taking time praying with me, and I've been in Beulah since 2007, so I know you've seen
That's right.
a lot of growth and a lot of ups and downs.
I've seen an awful lot of ups and downs, but what I see is how, even though you've gone through the valleys, you've been willing to let God be with you in the valleys, and that's helped you get back to the mountaintops. And you continue to walk in the tops, and you're a blessing not only to your own children, but you're a blessing to many others because you're willing to trust in Him to provide for everything you need to be experiencing. That's the beauty of walking with God, is that He loves us enough. He'll let us get where we need to be so we know that He's the only one we can depend on, the only one we can call on. And you're an inspiration not only to me, but to many others.
Thank you. I mean, when I rode, we was living in a boarded-up home as squatters. I didn't know what the name was then, too. But so the first 2 years we was homeless, and I just loved Beulah.
Yeah.
Beulah really, I never even thought about going to school.
Sure.
You know, with a 10th grade education, but Beulah gave me a second chance.
Good.
And so I just wanted to come by and show some love to one of my professors who was there and saw me and prayed with me.
Sure.
And just took your time out speaking.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Well, LaTarsha, you are a treasure to many, many people. And I'm hoping that as you are revealing your experience to others, it's going to be an inspiration of them to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I'll never forget Miss Judy Kirk. She believed in me when I came here. And I got a call from her one day and say, LaTarsha, you won't believe it. Your name just came up on a waiting list. You're next in line for student housing. I don't even know where we were staying at then. We were bouncing around from shelters, living in cars, scraping up money for hotels. And for 2 years, it was hard going to school, but I just kept fighting. But I just never forget the sound of her voice and just the reaction of my children that within 30 days, we could move in to this house. I mean, I just call it was a perfect setup from God. Right here at my school. And so I just thank God for that opportunity and for them, not forgetting about me. As we're sitting here, I'm just thinking about, who has evolved in the 8 years I've been here? And I never forget the day I walked in, I think I had on a white little summer dress, because I started May 2007. And when me and my kid were living in a boarded-up home, I was scared, come with my little application, say, they really accept somebody with a GED? And when I found out I was accepted, it's almost like a dream come true. That God was giving me a second chance, at education. So when Judy Kirk called me and said, LaTarsha, good news. We got a house that just came available. I guess it's not many words you can say for that. When you're homeless.
I know it. It's actually funny that you say you questioned whether Beulah would accept someone with a GED. And right now we are actively pursuing GED programs. We're going to those programs to let them know that they have opportunities, that there's a place that wants them as a student, that believes in their potential. So even what you experienced in a way, kind of paved the way for a lot of the things that we're doing now. I remember I came to Beulah summer 2004. And so you coming in 2007, I was just getting close to the end of my bachelor's program. And I would have met you as a student then, just as a peer. And then coming back and working here in 2011, and you were one of our dorm housing residents, is when I kind of got to know you a little better. And I knew you had some challenges, and I had engaged you a little bit, and I never knew everything that was going on, but you were always smiling, always pleasant. Never saw you broke down or upset or just, you were just always so full of faith. I remember that. I do. And so when you and I got to know each other a little better over the years, and I started to learn some of the things you were going through, I was just amazed that you continued to pursue your educational pursuits and your academic goals. Because everything you went through could have been a valid excuse to say, I got to stop, or I can't do this. With no apology, and everybody would have accepted that and said, yeah, she's got a lot going on, and it would have made sense. No one would have questioned it, but you never used that as an excuse to not meet your goal. I think it was important for you to do that, and I think it was important for your kids to see you do that, and it was important for us because I think we even acknowledged you. Was it the graduate brunch? Yeah. I think everybody was just so proud, and so it's extraordinary to come through. That's when you become more than a conqueror. Conquerors, they get past the hurdle. But when you're more than a conqueror, you get to a place where people go, you had a hurdle? It's not like you barely made it limping and kind of hanging on with one arm and leg chopped off, but I made it across the finish line. It's like, you just came through so gracefully. And I bless God for what you're doing now with your book and your ministry. And it's just so exciting, and it's encouraging for me as a woman in ministry. And also to be something we can share with other students. That we have an alumni here who can tell you it's possible. Because life doesn't stop happening when you decide to say yes to being equipped for your call. And that's why people come to Beulah Heights University, because they said, yes, God, I will be equipped for what it is you will have for me to do. And that doesn't mean that life gets on hold because you decided to do something. Life is going to keep happening. And so your story and you as a person, you embody that ability, that stick-to-itness, that ability to kind of rise above the excuses. And I admire you.
The professors here are like none that I've ever seen. I did one semester at Atlanta Christian College. And the environment, out of 8 years, I did that one semester over there. And they're not like Beulah. The professors here is not just about teaching a course. They really care about you. And so there's a lot of them that prayed. Carolyn Driver, Percy Johnson, Professor Turner. I didn't grow up in church, so this was like my church ground. In 8 years, I matured and grew up a lot. And I just thank God for you.
Praise God. We thank God for you. The Bible says in Isaiah 50, I will restore unto you the years that the cankerworm has eaten away. And sometimes we go through things and life eats at us and takes things, but God restores it all. And I think it's through your faithfulness. You were willing to try, and God met you. And He said, if you try, I'm right there. And carried you through. All the professors love you. You're a part of the essence of Beulah Heights University. You're one of our go-to stories for people and examples that if you stick to it, you can make it happen. So I hope you take your story. I hope you take your testimony. I hope you take all of your experiences and bless somebody. Share it with the world. I hope everybody knows who LaTarsha is. And what do you go by, Pastor? How are you addressed?
It's different depending on where we're at.
Yeah.
Now, Pastor Holden or Sister Holden or just
whoever. Huh?
Yeah.
Sister girl, friend. That's the aura you give off. You're just like a sister. But I hope the whole world knows of Pastor Holden's testimony because it can help somebody.
I remember it was a time I wanted to give up when I was here. The thought of suicide came, and I was tired. Because it's only so long you can keep going, and some knock you down. And I remember, I wanted to give up, and just to. I remember one time I did attempt suicide. I was scared. I was tired. With 6 kids, no outside support. So, you got your professor, but I mean, really a good, strong support system. It drove me almost like to a mental breakdown. But I remember when I got out of the hospital, I just told Satan, you're not going to win. I'm going to keep going. And before I knew it, as of last year, I went from a GED to an MBA. And I was like, I'm still shocked. Like, God, when so many people give up on you, just be shocked that God sees something. I just want to thank you for listening when I needed someone to listen to ear. And thank you for being a sister in Christ.
No problem. You know how I feel about you.
Didn't have a fast resume. Just had me and Jesus and them. At least now we had a place to stay. A place that we can call home. And by the time that 2 years was up, I was graduating with my BA in leadership studies. It's funny. I remember one time being home and I started to feel ill. And I started having problems breathing. I went to the doctor and I never forget the look of the ER physician when they came into the room. And here I am in mid-school. School is going. And I'm only living on campus because I'm in school. So I know what the ER said. The ER doctor said when they came in. Now we have to admit you to the hospital. You have a bilateral PE. You got blood clots in both your lungs. I was so sick. I wanted to give up. I'm like, oh my God, what next? What else? What else can happen? But when I was there those 7 days at the hospital, I kept telling myself, you can't give up. You got to keep going. You're a fighter. And when you leave here, go back and you keep going. Keep going no fast. I realized nobody was going to fight for me. No one was going to fight for my kids' children. For me. When we was home, I wanted to love on other women. I tried, got my kids together. I said, well, there's other people out there going through what we're going through. So God put in my heart to do something for them. I came right there, Mom, how can we do something with God? I said, my legacy to you all is service to others. I said, I want to be here always. And at the end of my journey, I might not have a fancy house to live in, a bank full of money, but I can leave you service to others. Kids mine, people always ask me, how did you raise such respect for kids and you went through all that and everywhere, even your grown kids. I I mean, they're respectable. You never had no problem out of them. Disciplinary actions or jail or games. And I thought about it. Okay, I'm a peacemaker, a natural peacemaker. I'm a meek person, kind of like my father. So these kids would get a little height on me. I ain't up in no fight. I said, okay, all right. Well, they take one because see Jerry Springer, Red Demon, they had little kids come on the show. And the kid 9, 10 years old, and the mama, and look, the mama crying, and the kid come out, and they acting like, oh, I beat you up, and I thought about my, I said, I did like this. I thought, oh, because the 2 was still little. It says 4 don't joke. So I got to put fear. See what I did though? I did put fear in them when they was little. Back then was the eye. Y'all remember? Some of y'all remember the eye. That's all your mama had to do, and you knew it. So I started when they were young with that eye. I'm not a fighter. And they didn't want to take nothing to the floor. Always a couple instances, I did have to take a couple to the floor. So before I knew it, I started acting like Bernie Mac and Medea. I don't know where that came from. Before Bernie Mac and Medea even came out, I was acting like Bernie Mac and Medea to these kids. Example, so I had this green trench coat. My son swore to not put that thing on. Because I had to show them about business. Okay, even though they didn't know it. Hey, those kids almost told me, so I had to let them know I was about business. So a couple times I had to put my green trench coat on. Maybe just go pick them up from school, or maybe if I felt like, let me go check up on them. But my son swore when I turned that corner, that green trench coat would kind of just glide. Like, woo, 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 woo. They were like, here she come. And they knew I meant business. They knew I meant business. It was a lot of time, I'm telling you, you got to act crazy with them. I'm with Bernie Mac on that. You just got to act crazy with them. But you can't wait till they 15, 16. She got kind of scared when they little. Bounce off the wall, buck their eyes a little bit. Let them think I'm going to look on you. I'm not going to be one of those parents on Jerry Springer talk about my kid kicking my butt. I don't know what nobody else's child going to do. But the ones that I'm raising and loving and nurturing, you have no reason to display that kind of behavior. And it was known over and over. I'm not doing it. You can talk to me about anything. I will protect you to the end. And one thing else I did too, to assure them that I would protect them. Because I didn't want my kids to see that I was so in love with a guy that I was dating that they couldn't tell me anything. So I would just put my little kids on the sofa, call the guy in the room, and just tell him in front of the kids, if you touch one of these, you're going to see a whole different person. Now the guy didn't like it too much because he said he wanted a child molester. But the purpose of that little scene was to let my kids know I don't love nobody that much that you can't come and tell me if somebody touch you. I just want the kids to know, because I don't want nobody to put feet up. They say people put fear in kids. I just want my kids to know in front of that person that I will protect you to the end. I believe as parents, that's if we're gonna lay down and have kids, I took my job seriously. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of money to offer them things materially. But I had a job once I laid down and had them to protect them by any means necessary. So me and my kids, we had plenty of fun. You talking about 6 different personalities. 6 different personalities, incidences, just the just a little kind of that. They got to where they talk back in there. And like I said, it was a couple times I had to take them to the floor. I just had to go down with them. I'm not a fighter. But they didn't know that. So I had to kind of, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know where Medea and Bernie Mac came out. Okay? I just called myself, all right, bouncing off the wall, come down the hall. All right, who next? Who wants some? I don't know how to fight. But my thing was, I had to let the kids know. You ain't gonna take me out. And if you try, you might well go ahead and call the police. Because I'm not going out like that. But to see my kids, healthy individuals who are not meant to society, it's probably one of the most beautiful things I have witnessed in my lifetime. And if I had to go back again to being homeless, to make sure I was there for them when they came from school. Now, I'm not saying I was perfect. That was time. Come on, I was homeless. I was grouchy. I was depressed. I don't want to hear it. Get out of my room. But they knew my mom would protect us for her life. That was like granted. That wasn't going nowhere. Soon they come in the door. No, mama, nobody mess with our butts. I'm like, let me get it out. I don't trust no, it just got to where they know mama might not be feeling good today, but we need to talk to mama about something. She's gonna be there. And so to see my kids contributing to society, out of 4 grown kids, 2 are married. My daughter, she married a young man in the Marines. My son, he's been in the Marines now 8 years. My other daughter, she's working. My son, he's into movie production. But to know, to see them now, I don't think I would go back and do that. To have kids that are respectful adults. I can't, see, it's certain things you got to kind of, it's a give and take. Will I give up? Although I felt, helpless, hopeless, like a loser, even humiliated to them. But to see 8 years later, that I can honestly say, I haven't had to visit a police station, a graveyard, disciplinary actions at school, and they all came out of school. My son got a GED, the others came out. I think he kind of stayed around me because when we was homeless going through. I think he just couldn't concentrate, so he was with me. So I guarantee you, he went and got that GED. My thing is that we don't know what paths our kids going to down. But I'm a firm believer that until they reach 18, no matter what house you stay in, no matter what money you got, no matter what you have and don't have, we're responsible for raising decent citizens and loving our kids. So when it is time for them to leave your nest, they can go and do whatever they want to do. So yeah, to see my kids, my children that's at home, they're 13 and 12. I think they learn from the old school. Yeah, they don't mess with me. Like I tell them, y'all, I don't beat y'all, I don't mess with y'all. I don't do that. Don't mess with me. That's my thing. Okay? I don't mess with y'all. Don't mess with me. And so my thing, that's a little joke them, but they know my mama loves me, my mama protects me. That's across the board. So parents, I'm just saying, no matter where you at, where you still at the shelter, you're going through, I just want to tell you this because I feel strong in my heart. Don't ever feel bad about where you're at. You don't come no rude food. No, and everybody that's home is not on drugs and alcohol. I don't do drugs, I don't drink. But what I did do is get an abusive relationship that made me feel so bad about myself, I thought I was a nobody. I was worthless. I didn't have goals. But thank God that He saw something. He saw the best in me. When everybody else around me, like that famous song, that's Marvin Sapp. When everybody else around me saw the worst in me, only God saw the best. And don't feel bad about where you're at. Don't feel bad about it. You can't go back and make up that. I can't go back and make up the years I didn't have gifts to give my kids. The times they used to joke about, boy, he go $3 in coin, go put some gas in the car. And they arguing in the car about who's going to go in there. If somebody will get out this car, go put that $3. Hey, when you're homeless, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. Don't feel bad about that. For a long time, I felt guilty. I felt less than a mom. But when my kids come around, when they come in town, the ones that live out of town, and when everyone I can see, I can look at their faces. Look at the grandchildren. Look at my kids figuring out ways how they can serve their country or their community. My daughter in the 8th grade, she's just going to 9th grade. I know she won't say, Mom, I'm going to 9th. But every year she was in school, she come in, Mom, somebody in school needs personal items. What can we do? Let's go. That's all you have to do. Mama, this guy at school like he needs some shoes. What can we do? My son Nico, Mama, this guy just got school bus when he was in school. His shoes kind of wrecked. Can I get one of mine? That's what it's about. And if that's what I leave and still my kids, I think I've done my job. Well, I was just sitting here thinking just about how time flies. A little bit after, I think May of last year, I went from a GED to an MBA. That's it's interesting because when I got my associates and my bachelor's, that MBA was like a milestone. I think a dream that I never thought would be attainable for me. And so it's still, I don't know. I guess I'm still like in awe of God. It took a lot to come to that place. Talking about 8 years of school, 8 years of being trained how to persevere, just growing in God, growing as a young lady, For so long, my only role was a mother. That was it. I was known as the girl in the family with the 6 kids. But how many of you know with God, He sees you so much more than what people see you? I mean, we talking about the God of the universe, looked down and saw me. A person that the family gave up on, but He saw me. He saw me more than just a high school dropout. The lady who gave birth to 6 kids. He had plans for me. So last year I decided to journey, write about my life's journey. How did I go from feeling depressed and lonely and a loser, feeling like God had forgot totally about me? How did I go from that person to where God has taken me now? Now I remember He gave me a title for my book years ago. I'm Free to Be Me. And I knew then, I didn't really feel the totality of that, but I knew I liked the sound of it. Free to be me. I was tired of taking on everybody's opinions about me. I was tired of allowing people to make me feel lower than what God said I was. So when I came out with the book, I'm Free to Be Me, free to be the woman God created, the first thing I liked about it was the cover. I know I was talking with the publishing company. I said, wow, I want some butterflies. Butterflies are so beautiful. We all are beautiful and unique in our own way. But that's that stage we go through as caterpillars, that stage where we're not so, before we come to God, and we just not so good to look at, I guess. But that metamorphosis stage, yeah, that's that stage where God is doing some things in us. He's changing the ugliness about us. He's changing the things that's in us that we resemble like the world. And when He comes through, and what He's doing in that metamorphosis stage, in that cocoon stage, when He's working out, we become like one of these pretty butterflies. And see, the reason I have more than one butterfly, because we're all unique. And it took me a long time to realize that. Even with my lazy, I just thought I was ugly and not beautiful, but no. Same way you might have a hang up, but God loves us. So I'm free to be me. It's basically journaling my life, overcoming domestic violence, suicidal thoughts, homeless, 6 kids, bad relationships. So I just thought I wanted to journey and take you all with me, because I know it's somebody else out there who's experienced things and just somewhere sitting that God forget about me. That God forget that I even exist. So I'm free to be me. It's basically telling everybody who gave me their negative opinions, I give it back to you. I'm free to be me. It's saying no more to abuse. I don't have to be abused by nobody. You don't have to be abused by nobody. It's time to love ourselves. See, I came to the realization we live every day. What we're going to do between the time that we give our life to Christ and the time He calls us home. I want to be free. I want to be free to dress the way I want to dress, look the way I look. Don't have to worry about I don't look like the woman on a magazine cover. I want to be free. And I decided I'd rather believe what God says about me than man any day. So I hope you get this book. It's only 105 pages, not much, not a long book for those who's not read it, but just something to say, yeah, I understand her. And I understand you. So when you get a chance, get your copy, I'm Free to Be Me, and come along this journey with me. And just enjoy the testimony of what God did. The uneducated, underemployed, a lady who felt lost, scared, homeless, black sheep of the family. People gave up on me. I even gave up on me. But there is a God that sits high and looks low. Life happens to us all. I think about the men and veterans that are homeless. See, a lot of times people think you got to be on drugs or alcohol to be homeless. That's not the case. Not the case for me. That's not the case for so many countless other men and women. So I think about men as well because I have a son that's in the Marines and a son-in-law. We never know what happens in life that'll take us down that road. So to my brothers who's out there struggling, this is not a woman thing. This is a we thing. This life happens to us all. A divorce, a death of a child. Anything could take us down that dark spiral where we feel alone. Maybe you was compared to your brothers, compared to somebody in your family, and you gave up. To be honest with you, maybe you was molested. Maybe someone took your innocence from you when you was a child. Just gave up. See, a lot of people think giving up is all about the streets and you just want to hang in the streets and party and all. There are some situations in life that could take us down a dark road we never thought would go down. Brothers, don't be ashamed. Sisters, don't be ashamed. We are all an incidental way of something that might can take our minds and take our hearts and lives in a direction. A job can leave you homeless. The loss of a job. Divorce. That was in my case. But see, what we don't need to do is look down on each other. Why? We're all in this trying to make it. We're all in this trying to get to our destination. Because at the end of the day, we can't take nothing from us. We can't take nothing with us. There's nothing we can take with us. No matter how nice that house look, car, we can't take nothing with us. So this documentary, yes, I was a homeless woman with 6 children. But there are some fathers that are homeless with their children. There are some fathers taking the responsibility and say, you know what, whether it was a divorce or whether it was the military that didn't back you up, you know what, I'm going to stand too. I stand with you. Nelson Mandela once said that, how can he really truly be free if his sisters and brothers are not free? How can he enjoy the limited freedom that he have when there's others in bondage? I feel the same way. That's why this book, this documentary, whenever I get the chance to preach, speak, I'm speaking freedom. I'm speaking no more bondage to oppression. Anything that oppresses us, anybody needs to go. It's it. People are dying every day. We don't have no chance to get it right. This is it. So when I'm speaking out, not only for my 6 children, anything I do, I include you all in it too. Because it's not about me. It's not about no degrees that God has given me a second chance to get. This is what it's about. Coming straight from the heart, sharing my testimony, hoping that someone else can say, God did for that lady, he'll do it for me. I'm free and I'm going to stay free. I want you to be free. I remember someone asked me about a couple of days ago when I was on a radio interview, was I ever mad at God? I was. There was times I thought, how could you leave me like this? How could you let him hit me or call me out my name? How could you let my family not support me? Where are you? Then I learned he was right there. You might say, how do you know he was right there? Because I'm right here. There's no way I could be right here. The last 8 years, my life went through a training, a purging process that I thought was going to kill me. But in order to stand for God, I had to go through what I went through. I told people that it was okay to mistreat me, but not standing up for myself. I chose to trust in people and not God. So I had to take on my own responsibility. There was situations that I went into and God didn't send me there. But he loved me so much, he didn't leave me there. And he loves you too, that he's not going to leave you. If you could just say, God, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of partying. I'm tired of drinking. I'm tired of clubbing. Because guess what? Time don't wait on no man. Before you know it, 5 years been on past. And to be honest, we can't even take that chance. We don't even have the luxury of assuming that we got 5 years on our life. If you're tired, you're sick and tired, all you have to do is invite Christ into your life. That's all you have to do. God, I'm tired. I believe that Jesus Christ died for my sins. I confess with my mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. And I know he was raised on the third day with all power in his hands. See, that resurrection power can change your situation in the blink of an eye. There's nothing that you can do. Don't let the world keep fooling you. We don't have what it takes to make our lives better. We don't have it. Sorry, we don't have that. It's only one person that has the power to make our lives better, and that's Jesus Christ. It's only one person can do what he did with me. It's only one person, that was Jesus Christ. I pray that this documentary touch your life. I pray that Love and Homeless, the LaTarsha Holden story, my story, my God allowed me to see this day where I can tell my story. That means he was with me and my 6 children. And I'm not ashamed to say it, me and my 6 children. And now I have 4 grandchildren. He just adding on to the family. That's how good he is. Come on over to this side. And I guarantee you, you will never regret it a day in your life. Because when life shows up again, this time you're on the winning side. And God will meet you at the finish line. This time, whom the Son has set free will remain free.